Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Lucid, and I am joined once again by Maryland
Hello, gamers.
as we continue our epic quest to see this game finished and cast the whole goddamn thing.
18 months now. 18, no, 16.
Yeah,
May 2011.
yeah.
April 2011.
I hope you guys
God.
appreciate what Mary and I have done for you. Not to like toot our own horn, but I mean, and the players in the game. Everybody
Well,
involved has spent at least a
I'm going to
year
make
of their life bringing you what
yeah.
I think is one of the best Dominions games ever put on YouTube. So,
Oh, by far. It's
and
also,
you get to see the whole thing
it's
because it's
also,
omniscience, right? So, I hope you're enjoying it.
well, and I would put a plug in here. This is the culmination of a 144 player international game tournament for a niche game with a tiny community. I mean, just imagine we've involved, you mainly have involved like this huge cross section of this little community, but it's just gigantic.
Yeah, and I mean the 140 something people were people who've won a game in multiplayer, and to win a game in multiplayer, you've got to play for at least 2 months, probably more like 4 or 6,
Right.
and beat a bunch of people by doing a turn every day. So that was just like to
Well,
get
and
into the tournament, you had to do that and win in a free for all game of usually like 9 to 12 or 16 people. So
yeah, your average statistics are that if you're good, your chance of winning a game at Dominions are 1 in 12.
right.
That's just simple, and you have to be competent enough to get to the mid-late game.
Right.
So, anyways, it's kind of a
Most
big
people,
deal.
nobody wins their first multiplayer Dominions game unless they've been playing a lot of single player, a lot, and been reading a lot of guides. There's maybe a couple exceptions to that, but the people I know who come in and start winning multiplayer, they've been just hammering at single player. They've been hammering reading strategy guides. Like they like
Exactly. I did win. I started 2 games when I first started multiplayer at the same time, and one of them I won by an agreement with the other top player. Now, whether or not you include that, but I
yeah.
won. But that was because I played a nation that I'd been playing in single player for a year. I read every guide. I practiced every strategy. I went balls before I ever went
Right.
into multiplayer.
Okay, so let's get into this. It's turn 117, like we said, and we are committed to finishing this and bringing you what I think is one of the coolest games. So let's before we read this message, last episode, Pangea, who's been applying pressure generally, had started to focus his pressure onto thrones. So
Absolutely, that was the summation.
he put a lot of thrones under heavy siege and was just going to start seeing what players were going to do. He wasn't overly committed. He wasn't all in. This wasn't a throne rush. People knew it was coming. He was putting a ton of pressure on thrones already, but it was an asserted throne push. Whereas before he had just been
Yes.
kind of like loosely doing things. Now he's bringing major siege strength. He's trying to pop the forts. He's opening up the possibility of winning the game immediately if things go according to plan.
Right. Well, I think he went from he owned 6, he's claimed I believe 6, and then last turn he dumped on 4 more.
Right.
So basically, they have to kick him off 2. They have to kick him off 3, or it's game over.
Right. And
I
the
think that's
craziest of the moves he did was a Stygian path into a random Vanheim throne that nobody was expecting him to attack, except, of course, the Vanheim player who cast Iron Walls on it, anticipating that might happen. Like
yeah,
some
yeah.
random fort in the middle of nowhere that he's like, yeah, there's a good chance Pangea just shows up here with 1,000 siege strength. Let's put Iron Walls down just in case.
You made that comment last episode that like I can't believe he put the gems in to put iron walls on a what appeared to be too deep to even bother with throne.
Yeah. Okay, so message from Pangea. I'll do this one. Extremely
Go
poor
for it.
rolls on Stygian paths meant I didn't instantly breach Vanheim's fort. What he means there is when you do a magic phase of Stygian path, you can move an entire army anywhere on the map. However, you have to take a check against MR, and I And also, I think if you have stealth, it's another like that will block 3/4 of them. There might be some other checks involved. I can't remember exactly, but I lose a ton of shit every time I use Stygian Pass. I don't know what the check is. I just know most of my shit dies.
Well, some of it dies, but also I believe you can miss. Like you can end up a little bit off.
That's maybe possible. I wonder, because you were
Or is
mentioning
that
like
only-
flames from the sky could miss. I was thinking about that. I think it maybe there was a global up, because I think Perpetual Storm can make certain rituals miss. I'm not sure.
Well, Perpetual Storm is up, so that could be why.
Oh, is that up?
In the game I was talking about, we had a flames from the sky miss. It hit 2 provinces over or something. The 4 dwarves are up.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Anyhow, okay, but his pretender and demons were in flight range anyways, so it was a bit of a long shot. If I had a better showing with that, there was a chance to win the game next turn. Not a super high one. I suspect that I'll be 1 off or 2 off from winning for a good long time, and probably start to lose ground now that Pelagia and Vanheim are both deploying their full ward machines against me. I have a major resource advantage, but probably not a 4 times resource advantage. And there are 2 further factors that make this coalition harder to fight than normal. One is that since everyone's finished with research, there's no concentration advantage to being the large power. What he means here is normally if you're bigger than everybody else, you'll also, not only will you have more resources, but you'll have better research often. And not the case here because everybody's done. Second is that both due to magic phase support and sprawling borders, multiple players are in range of almost every major throne. So I don't have the advantage of concentration of power either, and all or nothing fights functionally won't be able to use gems from my side, aside from temp gem items. So here he's referring to the fact that multiple players can gem bait him, and because if 4 players teleport onto his army, they don't all show up and fight at the same time. He'll fight 4 distinct battles, which means he'll use gems 4 times, so that then if there's a battle in the normal phase, any of his gems won't be there unless he put like 30 gems on each mage. So,
well, and even then, so basically he's limited to temp gem items.
Right. And that, by the way, is why we have temp gem items in the game, because in a high skill cap game like this, you would expect that sort of behavior. Or a high skill game like this, like...
Yeah, I'm still thinking that they've adjusted gem baiting so many times, but it's still a frustrating problem.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Illwinter's done about as good as you can do on it. I mean, maybe there's room to improve it further, but it's so goddamn hard because there's so many problems if gems don't go off when they should, and there's a ton of problems when gems get used when they shouldn't. So it's like, I don't know how they hone it better.
I think your fix of providing temp gem items is the easiest fix.
Right. Okay. Losing the traditional advantages of being the coalition target compound the fact that I mentioned earlier, which is that my advantage is effective mid-sized armies and elite troop meat rather than doom stacks. I can't reliably win 1 pivotal battle against any of the 3 major players remaining, which means they could hold on to thrones reliably unless I outmaneuver them, which I just tried, or attrition them down, which I'm continuing to try. I expect more losses this turn. Hopefully we'll be better. We'll be rating better.
Okay.
You want to do Vanheim's message?
Sure. With iron walls up, none of my besieged forts are in any danger, but I will attempt to throw Pan off them anyway. On Province 124, the throne he teleported a whole army on, I will attempt the soul of the army with my pretender. If I can avoid getting his casting interrupted, it should work. I am also teleporting a whole army into the breached fort at Ulm's throne. I believe he means, no, hang on, onto, because it's Ulm's fort, right?
I think he's talking about there's this one throne. Wait, where's Ulm's capital?
He said 124. Oh
no! This was the Stygian Path throne. Ulm's throne he was talking about was down here. So there's some battles here. Watch.
Yeah, so that would be onto.
Right.
But just struggling with the meant unto is not the right word. So I wondered if he meant onto or into. as
Yeah.
the province will be hit by lots of remote spells, something like 3 flames in the sky, a murdering winter, and plenty of remote assassinations. Pan's army should get weakened enough that they can take it out without too much trouble. I would also attempt to take out most of Pan's other forces in my area, but most of that may fail as he is likely to move them around. In addition, I am also making a few attacks of my own. Okay, so now we kind of saw a little bit of that, but we'll go through messages first.
Right. I think it's also, I don't know if it's this turn or maybe it was a few turns before, maybe a few turns after, but Vanheim ended up getting kind of like a sub. I think he was just getting worn down by the late game.
It's heavy.
Yeah, I don't know if this was the message from him or his sub, but I don't think he ever fully disconnected, so I think they kind of like did it together. I don't exactly know how that went, but it's worth mentioning right around here.
All right.
Okay, message from Ashdod. Well, before moving on to Misfortune, Pan took 333 losses in the fort to the west. He had no fear of starvation with that many nature mages, even with all the chaff he had made. I can't help but notice that all of his commanders are stealthy after I just revealed some assassins. Sai has played in a finesse rather than aggro style for so long now that I can't help but believe he intends to do a switcheroo and stealth off that throne, maybe leaving one super combatant to tank potential assassins. Also, no prophet in that army, despite seeing it last turn in a water elemental assassin fight to that Fort 1 West. The walls are not even half broken, so I'm in no hurry, whereas I think Sai may finally be getting there with the whole world about to attack him. So it's my turn to be patient and just throw up some iron walls and see if he's really intent on that throne or if this is all a feint. Sounds like the big battle. I think this one is like a complete fit. We'll have to see which one. I don't know. So there's 2 thrones of Ashdots that are threatened by Pan. One had just the smallest of forces where he thought he was just fucking with Ashdod, right? Like not. I don't even remember. It was that southern throne. There wasn't really much going on. Then there was the northern throne where Ashdod had what looked like the biggest demon army the world has seen. It's like 300 Seir or something, right?
Right.
You know, if Sai's fucking with it, he doesn't intend to attack it, I'm sure, unless that army is like fake. So anyway, I'm not totally sure which he's talking about here. So it sounds like the big battle will be on Ulm's Swamp Throne, which is broken. Ulm indicated there wasn't enough inside to hold, so everyone's throwing some remotes to burn gems, and Van is trapezing a bunch of air mages. Hopefully, Ulm has another Flames from the Sky or 2. Seems Pan has gone on a few of Van's thrones too, but those sound like probes or distractions, similar to him going on my Iron Throne. For raids, almost all worked last turn. Accidentally retreated 1 assassin last turn. Okay, that's when you script an assassin to retreat in an assassination battle and they just die.
Yeah, it happens.
Late game mental lapse there. If the ebb and flow of raiding wars continue, Pan will take some of my stuff this turn. If that doesn't happen, it will really indicate he's finally shifted forces. If that's the case, we will be pushing out. An addendum. With raiding, I have to be more conscious of life for life with single commanders. I lost like 40 corpse constructs last turn. When defending my PD, commanders soak them for me. It's quite convenient. Yeah, Ashdod gets high HP PD commanders, which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm making a few of those Edomites, so close vampire raiders will have some meat shields. I'm making some counters for lifelong protection golems too. Malakas with great swords of sharpness and moonblades. Also starting some Elfbanes to trigger that sweet magic being Soul Slay. I don't actually know how that works. I'd be interested to know if you could kill golems with the with the Elfbane. There's a chance, but I don't know. There's also a chance that the returning triggers before the Soul Slay effect goes off. And then, of course, this is MR negates, but... Malika's hardly a great chassis, but as counter raiders versus the golem and vamps, it's cheaper than flying boots plus a chassis. So beginning to end my vamp scripts with attack rear or large monster, after I estimate the units with mines may be dead. He will also... Oh, he'll adjust the course, and so we'll look for another rock, paper, scissors scenario. He did manage to kill my my Wraith Lord leading shed east of Nabah using a lifelong protection dryad and banish spam. That's pretty cool. I think the cheapest solution is just to carry a bow for those acting as commanders, which will have them... We'll have to start toggling those on scouts to take them by surprise.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure how that would work, but I'll leave that. Okay, addendum number 2. Also taking a shot at Province 29, where my god... Okay. That's probably a bit too much detail for us to read through. And then we have a final message from Pelagia. If you want to read that, we'll move on to the actual battles after this.
Last turn was good. Could have been better if I didn't make a host of mechanical errors. This turn, I will probably utilize Pan's Dome at the fort north of Throne of Earth to reduce the chance of being hit by murdering winter or gem baits. Okay. Of water and death. So what do versus the countless demon legions? Turns out, water holds the first part of the answer. A spell that doubles all damage against demons. Yeah, we've seen that. Well, this fact has some upsides for direct damage spells that go against full protection in exchange for highish base numbers, Falling Frost. The real play here is Rigor Mortis. Average of 14 fatigue per round is not really counterable by anything and puts all demons on the clock. Well, we saw this earlier.
Yeah, he's deployed it a couple times.
Who used that? Yeah,
he did.
Yeah.
He just, I don't think he had sent us a message before explaining it, so...
but we watched it, and it was amazing.
Right, yeah. Okay, so with that, maybe we start... Let's start with
I'd like to start with the Stygian Pass.
Okay,
maneuver.
So that was this
right
throne.
there.
So there was a
Now,
huge army on this, and he evacuated the army. Oh, wait, no, so this was the army. So this was a gem bait.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
This is the god.
Okay. Oh, he's been twice born.
Right, so
he's
it's
a
a
white
twice-born
mage.
god. He's also, I believe, on the god done Wish for Strength. So he has way more HP. He's got a boatload of
Oh
strength.
my gosh. Yeah, holy shit.
But better attack and defense stats.
Wish for power, yeah.
And all these guys here have copper plate, so they're immune, as you saw, to that Storm Demon volley. Wait,
Well, that was it?
I think we
Or
had
did you
Vortex
hit
of...
quit?
No, I think it was Vortex of Returning.
Oh, was it Vortex for
Or
returning?
something, I'm not sure. I didn't mean to hit quit if I did. Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Motherfuckers!
All right. So he kind of caught on to that. If his Stygian didn't provide, okay. So I thought when I saw that empty fort siege, I thought, oh my god, he just got annihilated. But no, he just said, I'm gonna fuck off.
Right. Now, this was not a cheap maneuver, because if you think about it, it was all the gems he spent to... So, he had to cast Stygian Paths, which is, I think, 10 gems. He then lost a bunch of the units while Stygian Pathing, right?
Right.
So that's another cost. And then he has to pay for the Vortex of Returning. And I can't remember. I think Vortex of Returning, you can also get lost.
There's a chance of hitting the void, but I think the Anuki would be pretty resistant to that. I believe it's magic resistance related.
Oh, I thought it triggered potentially on all the troops. It's not a spell that gets used a tremendous amount, but...
No, I don't think Vortex does that. It's
look.
returning.
Yeah, Returning definitely does, but I thought Vortex also could. Thaumaturgy.
It's under
Okay, the
same restrictions and dangers. Okay, let me look it up here. I don't know how much I've used it quite a bit, and I've rarely lost anything.
It's not going to be that. We can test it real quick. I've got a test game.
Yeah.
I'll pause it while we get it set up. All right, so I have this test. We just tested it out to see. So there's a bunch of guys. We attack. We do Vortex of Returning. Question is, how many of them come back? So we had 132 in total. We had 30 long dead, 29 whites, and 72 wolves. The ones that remain, we've got 28. So, okay, wait, let's see. Whites, we had 29, and now we have 25, so we lost 4. Long dead, we have 28. We lost 2. And wolves, we had 72, and we have 68, so we lost 4.
Yeah, the interesting thing here is you'd have to do statistics on it. But it looks like you lost as many of the expensive guys as you lost of the cheap.
Yeah, it does
Which
imply
sort
that
of
it's
implies
completely random. That's not related to
that
MR or something.
Yeah, it's purely just a statistics. You lose X percent.
Which
So
I
you lost
think is what it
roughly-
is. I think you lose 2% or something like that. Is that close to what we lost? We lost in total. It looks like we lost more than 2%.
131,
131.
131, 132, 131, and now you have
but why can't I
looks
add
like
this?
there you go.
Well, this is 53, and 53 and 68 is 120, 121. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's
It's only about
121.
1%. It's only about 1%.
So 121 to no, it's more than 1%. Because 120 we lost 11, right? So it's about like 8%.
11 of 132.
Yeah, so it's a little less than 10%. So
Yeah.
I mean,
8%.
Yeah, so
you're
that's
right.
not nothing. That's a significant. It's not a it's worth doing, right, to save your army, but I think it's pretty clearly not free.
No, but it definitely would appear that it's better to use it with cheap crap.
You're right. Or I mean, you're just going to be paying a tax.
Because you lost more whites than you lost anything else.
Yeah. So 117. Okay. So anyway, that army pieced the fuck out. Wait, was that this throne?
Nope.
That was this one.
That
Okay,
one.
piece the fuck out. And meanwhile, over here, they did some light raiding, right? So they raided here. Kind of interesting to see what Vanheim did. He has some Dustwalkers here with the Kamazot.
And that's not that light of a raid. 32 white centaurs.
Yeah. Cast some Astral Fires.
Oh, 13, not 32.
Yeah, I think this would have been pretty well set up to deal, like, from Vanheim, to deal with, like, a single thug, like if he was using,
Yeah, definitely.
And this is a bigger force.
Good bunch of main-outs to soak any lances or whatever.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Sai had talked about was using these guys buffed with, like, weapons of sharpness.
Weapons
before.
of sharpness.
And here we can see it. He's got probably earth boots on these guys, and then with a gem. Actually, God, he doesn't even need it. Yeah, the earth ran him with an earth boots, and then it's getting weapons of sharpness. Now it's doing strength of giants. I mean, they are going to be very frightening.
They're going to hit. Oh, I see. I was wondering why he had the white centaurs in front, but it was so they could throw jabs.
Oh,
and then the centaur cataphracts could rush through them.
Right.
Nice. That worked well. Yeah, that was excellent. I wondered why that spacing. That seemed odd spacing to me.
Yeah, we can watch that again and just kind of watch it. So,
well, okay. Stop right here. This looks to me like the wrong spacing, because what I would have done would be have them all kind of charge in a line. Obviously, you want them in a box formation to get the buff on.
Right.
But I was surprised to see the white centaurs in front. But then when I see what he's got scripted, they rush up, throw their jabs, see?
Yep.
And then the timing is just right so that the whites and the cataphracts are hitting at the same time.
Yeah.
Nice bit of work. The best person I ever knew for doing that, and you may or may not have met her, was Phantoman.
No, I don't think I ever did meet her.
Yeah, she was the winner of the dueling tournament we had back in Dominions 3 before
cool.
the one I did.
Oh,
And
wait,
she
was
was
that
an
the person
expert.
that won with TNG?
I don't remember who won in the original dueling tournament, but Phantoman was a lady from Sweden.
Okay.
But she had a guide, and it's still around. You can look it up on how do you use hurlers for Agartha very effectively. And her spacing was perfect. She had the exact number of squares so that her hurlers would toss a couple of boulders, and then all of your big, Agarthan sacreds would slam in. She was the best I ever knew with that whole challenge of spacing perfectly. I try to do that really well, but I don't put as much time into it. But you've got to consider your variable combat speeds, make sure your squads all have the same combat speed, and then calculate, how far forward will he move before I move and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then of course the Menaids fuck up all the formation a little bit anyway.
Yeah, but that was one of the prettiest battle setup, battle spacing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
that was very pretty.
It's pretty nice.
I love that. Did you see that one lion? Did you see the one lion?
It's still around. It's the undisciplined. It's the blue lions are the ones that aren't undisciplined. So these guys you can actually script to guard or hold an attack. A lot of the other ones will just run into combat.
That guy's been around for 50 turns since the death of Ind.
I wonder if, God, it would be cool. I wish there was some counter you could see how long things have been around. That would be kind of cool.
Isn't that funny? I thought that's pretty cool to see that lion still there. There's we'll look at it
again. Let's see how much experience that lion has. Because I think you get a thing for winning every battle.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. 140 XP.
Oh God, I'm so glad we came back to check that. That's really funny.
That is funny. But he's been around for 50 or 60 turns.
Yeah.
He adds up. And how the hell did he get him? Because he probably charmed.
Oh yeah, he charmed him.
He enslaved him. Yeah. Maybe he enslaved the unit, or maybe he enslaved.
He did charm or charm animal or something.
But isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Okay, so this is interesting. He's got. You would think this would win because he's got invulnerability and he's got slow vortex. What he doesn't have is skeletal body, which would help a bit here. But even still.
Well, isn't this the one where there was a single imp? Did I see it?
Yeah, there was an imp, but so he's routed the PD.
Ah, shoot!
Oh, they just
someone got through.
Oh no, he retreated. They got him too low. Yeah, I think if he did skeletal body, he would have won that. Okay. And then over here, Vampire Lord raids from Vanheim, takes us back from Pangea. Vampire Lord from Vanheim takes it back from Pangea. Here, Pangean vampires take this. This is a PD dump. A lot of raiding here. It looks like he sniped a commander, so this is interesting. This would have been... There was some commander leading this. It was probably a vampire or something, and he sniped it with assassins or... Oh, right. No, there was... Okay, never mind. It wasn't. Oh, no, it was. Because there's nothing here with undead leadership. Soulless
pan.
Yeah. Oh, no, this does have undead leadership. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it does.
Because now it's a soulless pan, but what kills it?
Oh, and these guys are in the back, so it's just a thug. And let's see if this is the patented, super heavily geared... Oh my god, yeah, it's a bajillion gems of gear on this guy. But I don't think... I think this guy's going to be immune to all these dudes. Yeah, the Storm Demons don't have anything to say to him.
No.
And this Herald Lance, I mean, it's doing... This is double damage against undead, or 3 times damage against undead, so... In demons.
Holy crap.
So he's fucking them up something fierce.
Yeah, that's a demon killer, that's for sure.
Oh, charm going off. Stream of life. It could still swing.
The soulless doesn't run away. Oh, that's almost the worst thing you could have. If that was a normal pan, it would have run.
Maybe he almost stole him too. I mean, honestly, if he got the charm off there at the end, it would have totally been worth. I mean, he got like 3 charm attempts, and that was a full van with gear.
Yeah.
That would, could have been worth it.
Well, that was interesting.
God, Pan's just fighting everywhere. It's like this fight with Vanheim's just perfectly blended into this fight with Ashdod. But before we come up and look at Ashdod, let's come over here because I think there's more action happening on some of these other turns. Like here, there was potentially a big battle. There was a big Vanheim stack, Pangean stack on this fort.
No.
And he moved off and left just enough to kill counter raiders.
Yeah, just a token.
Oh my God,
look at those imps.
A lot of imps. Holy fuck. Was he doing Port from Hell? Is that what? Yeah, okay, so they started off here.
And they're on hold and attack.
Oh my God. Weapons of sharpness on these guys? Does he have a strength buff? Dude, this is fucking scary, dude. This actually is probably pretty decent late game. Is like a few tiles of imps with, because attack 12.
Well, and look at those. Those guys have experience, so they're attack 12.
And
they've been around a while.
Well, claws are also 2 attacks. It's something people don't remember. Like imps are 12 attacks a tile.
Yeah.
You know? And with weapons of sharpness and some source of strength buff, like it could be bloodlust or whatever, they're fierce. So, I mean, just watch what happens. Watch this.
Yeah, those are white centers. They just trash them.
Look at that.
Yeah, splat.
It's just little blood puffs of air. Oh my God.
Oh.
I mean, he lost 1 imp. I mean, look at that. That is a cool trick. I like that he summoned imps. Now, you can't summon imps normally by, doing normal...
Yep.
Like, there's not, just a summon imp spell. You get them as part of other stuff.
Yeah, infernal forces.
Right. So you can get them, first of all, by doing... Horde from Hell.
Horde from Hell.
And this is a remote summon. It'll have a devil leading a bunch of imps. And they will attack some province wherever you point them at. So this is a cool magic phase remote attack. And that gets you a pile. And if any are left over, you get to keep them.
But the big one is Infernal Forces.
Right. This one gives you 7 devils. And as a side effect, you get 20 imps. Which it could be like...
lost. You were...
Did I stop streaming?
No, your stream's fine, but your voice went choppy on me, so I don't know if my voice went choppy on you.
Oh, no, I'm good. You sound perfectly fine.
Okay, that was just a Discord. Discord does that sometimes.
So, but this is interesting, because a lot of times, like, when I look at this spell, I'm like, okay, you get 7 devils, and I kind of write off the imps. But... God, those are some scary fucking imps with weapons of sharpness on them. I tell you what. I mean, imagine this, man. What if you had that pile of imps, and you got quickening cast on them, and strength of giants, and weapons of sharpness? It's 24 armor piercing attacks that are going to be doing. This would be. What is it? 13 AP damage, but it's 24 a tile. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the attack and defense bonus from quickening too.
Yeah, they're no joke. I think our internet connection is getting a little choppy, but keep going. We seem to be okay. You're getting a little fuzzy here on the screenshot, so if I can't comment much, it's just for the audience. We're getting a little bit of this Discord internet thing that happens.
Well, you sound good on my end, so that's what's going to matter for the recording.
Well, that's what's going to matter for recording.
Right. So we got a Lich coming out here. This Lich looks like he has a... oh, wait, where do those... Oh, no,
there's somebody throwing...
Whose corpse candles are those?
Somebody's... And there's pillars of fire.
I wonder if this is an assassin turn that just showed up for combat. Oh, it could be these guys. It's these guys.
The flame spirit. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. But they don't fly. How did they get there so fast? Were they just at his side and they just waddled forward? Oh, yeah, they're just fast. Look at that. That's kind of cool. I don't think I'd really notice that. All right, yoink. We have 4 Liches and a Van Jarl against a Pan and some Maenads.
Okay. Well, I predict they'll win.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know how this goes, but the only danger here I see is if he does Soul Vortex, he could accidentally kill the Van Jarl, but he's not even going to do that. And then the Van Jarl jumps in amidst all the Skelly spam. Well, this is dangerous because the charm is, he's charming stuff, and I don't know, okay.
But the pan gets away.
Yeah. All right. So a bunch of raiding. This is interesting. So Pan has a Golem and a Lich.
A golem and a lich. Is that... So it's a lifelong protection golem with the ring of returning.
Right. Or this might be the protection of Garyon.
Protection of Garyon. No.
Yeah. We keep noticing.
Yeah.
I'll have to get Sai. If you're
It's
watching
easy
this,
to-
put in the comments. Was that a misclick, or did you actually mean to put the protection of Garyon on? I'm very curious. Thunderstrike's coming down, but it's targeting the higher HP density areas of the skeletons. And yeah, he gets these 2 guys. Now, did they summon air elementals? Because I wouldn't. That's what I would have used these guys for. Nope.
Nope. No gems.
So he did Communion Master Mind Burn. Well, I don't know what happened to the Communion slaves here. This might have been a misscript.
No, I think they didn't show up where these guys probably got interrupted in their move.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
it's also
thinking he
possible
had a
there was like a
multi-move.
seduction attempt here too. It's also possible that these guys survived the seduction attempt because he gave them gems for air elemental, right?
Right.
And that's why they wouldn't have had him here. So there's a bunch of things that could have happened, and it's going to be impossible for us to know.
And I don't think they were supposed to be there unsupported like that.
Now, I think we had a lot of battles here. So this was Pangea attacking with a pretty big army on one of Ulm's thrones. And this is one of the places that, like, as Pan was saying, a lot of players could threaten him. So let's see what happens.
This is the one where they said they were going to multiply gem burn.
Right. So this is not a gem burn. This is the first attack we see in the province. And it is a huge fucking army from Vanheim with 1 million devils and a bunch of demon knights. Some storm demons. Now, it's possible some of these storm demons get messed up by the heat aura from the devils, but it's cold, so it might be okay.
And he's got some locusts.
A Holy Scourge Golem. Not totally sure what he's going to do. Probably Will of Fates. Got this guy to do big earth spells, maybe Ground Army. Some trolls, some great eagles. Slave matrices on some of these guys. And rings of fire to survive flames from the sky.
Okay. All right.
Rings of fire you don't see a ton of because it's like people don't normally make them. But they are the best source of fire resistance for fire gems.
If flames from the sky is flying around, I'm using a ton of them in one of my other games.
Yeah. Oh, we've got a very high path lich, but only 1 death gem. That could be for Skeletal Legion. On Pangea's side, we got a lot of vampires. Holy shit, we have a lot of vampires. A decent number of White Centaur. I mean, honestly, these White Centaur are good. There was a strong case for Black Deathing his capital like 40 turns ago. Because they are an important component of his overall power. He's got this dude with a Storm Staff and a bunch of Earth Gems to drop Army of Gold. A ton of vampires to just slam Skelly Spam. I think his plan here is like, I'm going to just out Skelly Spam them, and I want the battle to go long, so I don't want anybody doing like mass flight jumping on me. Right? So this is going to stop all the demons from jumping on him and having a quick battle. Instead, they're going to have to slowly chew their way through this, and importantly, all the Skelly Spam. The Storm Demons will be able to jump, but most of the forces here are Devils.
Oh, that was the Shimmering Fields?
Yep.
Well, Darkness is up, but that's kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, I think...
Handful of ice devils.
Now, I don't remember, does he have... Yeah, he doesn't have Dark Vision, so these guys actually... It did hurt his White Centaur some, but he's got plenty of demons and Long Dead, so he won't care too much. All right, let's take a look at some of these buffs. Got 20 protection. We've got Skeletal Legion that went up. So that's what that Death Gem was for. We have a susceptibility to shock. So he hasn't gotten Ground Army or Thunderfinned up. And we have a susceptibility to cold, which is just built into this chassis. He has gotten Fog Warriors and Will of Fates up as well. So this is kind of what you would expect. Do we see Wailing Winds? We do.
Yes, from
both sides. One being cast by a White Mage and one being cast by an air-empowered Vampire Lord. Pan has put up Relief.
No rigor
and Pan
yet.
has put up Howl. So Pan, I think, has a lot more of these battle enchantments up. In terms of the buffs for Pan, he's also got Regen. Whereas we did not see Regen on Ashdod. I mean, on
That's
Vanheim
correct.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's also got... while he has done Mass Protection, he has covered the Shock Malice. So he has done Ground Army, whereas Vanheim did not. And he also has Cold Resistance, which is significant because they're fighting in cold. And these guys have a cold penalty, which I don't know exactly how that interacts with severe cold. I don't think it changes it. But anyway, these guys are going to be much higher encumbrance. If he was really clever, he could have put up Grip of Winter, and that would have done murder to these devils.
Yeah, it would.
He also has Luck off. He does not seem to have Fog Warriors. So while on one hand it looks like Pangea's put up more buffs than Vanheim, the one buff he's kind of been missing is Fog Warriors. But there's a lot of magic weapons on the field on both sides, so I'm not sure how good Fog Warriors is actually going to be this fight.
Well, have a look and see how these White Centaurs in the front are holding up.
Yeah, let's get in close enough where we can see some of those damage numbers. Now, they don't have great attack and defense stats in Darkness. But once they go Berserk, the attack stat gets a little bit better.
They're getting killed.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some weapons of sharpness out too. Yeah, okay, so these guys should be shredding these dudes apart pretty good. I bet you he's been saved by Luck a few times already. I don't... Mist form negated.
His formation's kind of falling apart. Those devils are starting to wrap.
Yeah. Let's see what all the mages are casting back here. We've got Raise Dead being cast. These guys are casting... Wait, why won't it tell me the spells they're casting?
They're broken. Did you see that? A bunch of those Vanarrows are already broken.
And that's something we should be paying attention to, because both sides have put up, are going to have people running away. Like, there's vampires running away.
Oh, yeah. There is. Yeah. No, there's a lot of guys running away already.
Some of the eagles
That's
running.
That's a lot of undead.
Now, I was thinking Pan would have more undead than Vanheim, but it's looking like...
You mentioned that. It looks like, no, the other way around.
And I wonder why. Who is it? Who's making all of this? I mean, it looks like it's coming from right over here, but I don't see any freaking death mages.
From the...
Where's it coming from?
Vanarrows?
Okay, we have this guy, a white mage.
Yeah, okay.
We've got this guy, a death dude. Okay, it makes sense for him to make a lot. Like, is this guy? Who?
Boy, this is definitely going to come down to who's left standing.
Okay, so there's a few of these guys who have master matrices. It looks like the fact that these guys are in a communion, even though there's fewer death mages, it looks like it's allowed them to get out a bit more death chaff.
Whoa, wait. This is a hell of a slog.
Now this flank, though, Pan has now broken of Vanheim's. And that means all these elite troops are going to come and crush this. Are these guys... I would say Pan has a bit more weapons of sharpness, it looks like. Though both sides have it. I'm not actually sure. God, this just looks so close right now. But this flank has been crushed by Vanheim. This looks like Vanheim's going to win this to me, just because of the amount of Long Dead they've made. We've got...
Petrify, Storm of Thorns, Raise Dead, Drain Life, Horde of Skellies, Blade Wind.
God, it's...
I see White Center's running.
It's interesting. It's kind of like a little yin-yang symbol. Because this side, we have a lot of elite troops from Vanheim, and they're breaking the line and working their way down it. And we have basically the exact same thing, but, you know, opposite happening on this side with Pangea. Ton of elite troops slowly cranking their way through this line. You know, honestly, it could come down to just the fact that Pan has regen and Vanheim doesn't. Because a lot of these guys are probably getting ticked down. Yeah, like, look at this guy. 2 HP, 1 HP. Whereas a lot of Pangea's guys are going to be full HP or much closer.
I'm wondering if it's going to come down to who's got a undead leader left on the battle.
That could also be it. It could be who just is the last to have an undead leader that doesn't rout. Because with Wailing Winds up, it's certainly a possibility. Now, what I would expect there is it would be Vanheim, because we know he has liches. And one of the difference between liches and vampire lords is liches have, like, superior morale by far. And,
but there's a specter over there on Pan's side. I think I saw a specter.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, see, there's a specter right there.
Yeah. This guy, pretty good morale.
What's his name?
Singer Razor Edge Fabric Shears. Singer Razor Edge Fabric Shears? I don't know. Nether Dart's coming out. Storm of Thorns.
But those regenerating devils are holding up.
Okay, this thick line of chaff has been getting worked through by Nether Darts and by these Storm of Thorns. Yeah. I mean, do not underestimate all this evocation coming out. It's killing about one dude every turn.
I think that Spectre might win the game, win this fight.
Yeah, I think it's these Nether Darts. We have to look at the number of kills that Spectral Mage gets. Because these are a lot of projectiles coming. And they've pinned this out.
You made the comment that regen might win this fight, and that looks like what's going to win it.
Yeah.
Because look, there's still Fiends of Darkness alive.
Yeah. And these Storm of Thorns are also fucking up. Like you can see, these Storm Thorns are occasionally getting entangled, and
yeah.
It's Long Dead getting entangled, and when they're entangled, they have 0 defense, so they're ready to get killed.
So why are these Pans not running away? Because look how many Pans are still casting. Do they have Dragon Helms on?
You know, they've got Dragon Scale.
Dragon Scale. Yeah.
Dragon Helm.
Oh, they're seriously, they're morale boosted. That's why they didn't run away.
And it's like, you know, people are like, there's no counter. Like, Wailing Winds is definitely a strong spell, but people are like, there's no counter to it. And, like, sure, there's not easy counters, but, you know, like, here we're looking at it. It's a battle. Both people cast Wailing Winds, and somebody's got a lot more mages left, and that person has a bunch of them plus morale items.
Yeah, you stuff the morale items.
God, he does have this other Lich here.
Oh my gosh, there's still Blood Slaves on the map. But nothing to spend them with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What an intense fight.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
So that really looked in the middle part like Vanheim was going to overwhelm. He was going to crack the flank, and so is the storm still up?
Yeah.
Did the cast?
Yeah,
So
the pan who cast it's been up the whole time.
oh, so that's huge because the Devils, Vanheim's Devils, couldn't get to the back line.
Yeah. Well,
Look at that! Look at that! Oh gosh!
I mean that was one of the cooler battles I've seen. That was just a
Did we
top
see
end
the?
battle.
Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers.
Spectrum Mage
So
only killed
Pan
22, huh? Pan's
Pan
killed
lost
45.
one Soulless and one Devil and 3 Vampire Lords. Other than that, he lost nothing for Magi.
Right.
And look at the losses for Vanheim for Magi.
Yeah, well, he burned out his communion, which, I think that's kind of normal in a really long fight. And it's off path, right? So, like, these Van Jarls, the Mana Drots had the death randoms, and those were usually who he was sticking the matrices on. I think that's why there was so much Skelly spam. But the Van Jarls, it's off path. So
9 Van Jarls.
Yeah.
Oof. Ouch. And 1 Vanadrot. The Liches will come back. The Golem won't.
Yeah, that Golem's dead.
But that was expensive, and all the gems on it.
Yeah.
And most of those were heavily geared, so he lost a lot of gems and gears. He lost all the Devils.
Yeah. The other important thing here is these Van Jarls all had at least the 10 gems worth of slave matrices on them. So he just gave a bunch of slave matrices, I'm sure, to Pangea, and it cost him a lot. This was an enormous defeat for Vanheim.
I don't think Pan will have collected much gear because most of those Magi ran away.
Yeah, you're probably right. But I mean, this too, like,
That's
I
a
think
big
it's
win
easy.
for Pan.
It's easy, like when we're saying it's a big win for Pan, big loss for Vanheim, to be like, like Vanheim made a mistake or something. Like this is just really well scripted on both sides, and it's just a really cool mistake.
Battle. I mean, as we watched it, it was just like a back and forth, and this is touch and go, and I don't think there was mistakes. It's just, it just worked out. I think your comment though that the regen was pretty huge.
Yeah. I do. I wonder if Vanheim was able to cast it if he would have won that.
Could have made a big difference.
Yeah.
But there was a bunch of other fights.
We didn't also check at the end. It also could have been encumbrance was a big deal. Like a lot of his devils, with having the extra severe cold, they could have been getting fatigued out faster than everything else. So they just lost steam at the end faster than other things did. So there's a bunch of things that kind of could have come into effect there, but a really cool battle. That being said, Vanheim lost strategically, right? But the fort isn't popped anymore. So just the smallest amount of stuff left from Pangea here. Kills this force from Ulm. And then he tries to storm.
Not much left.
This is the problem with trying to storm when you anticipate a big battle's going to happen on the outside. Oh, look at it. He's got 2 bloodstones. He's just picking up all his gear.
Oh my gosh.
What would be really funny is if they picked up the slave matrices and then couldn't cast the spells they needed to.
Oh, good grief. Oh, he's got a bowl of Job.
Yeah. So... Yeah. Oh my god.
Life for a life. You just wiped them with life for a life.
Yeah, they got fucked up.
They're dead. Oh, did they ever?
Let's watch that again.
Oh, whoa.
All right, and in slow motion this time. Whoa. Goodbye. That was like 200 gems a gear, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an expensive... I hesitate to call it a mistake, but like Pan just lost a lot of shit.
Holy crap. Ouch.
Ulm riding out to fight Pangea. God, I love this. It's like turn 117. Ulm's basic, has 0% chance of winning the game. And has he given up? Has he gone AI? Has any of that? No, he's scripting and riding the fuck out.
Did you see that gigantic flaming storm? Just blast.
Was that flame eruption?
Yeah.
Oh, he's chewing his way through. There's a bunch of Pangean stuff back here.
Oh, and Pan's running. Oh, he did it.
Okay, I mean, Pangea won, like, that previous fort battle, but, I mean, not really. Like, I mean, he won, but there's nothing left on top of this fort. Everything's dead from one way or another, and he got his ass kicked off of this fort.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't think he has anything over here to take this throne anytime terribly soon. Like...
No, that was pricey.
I think these guys have saved this throne.
I think they have. They said they would. They said they were all going to work together on that one.
Well, I think they did. Oh my god. So Pangea is still keeping most of the Ulmish forts locked down, but I mean, he took major losses here this turn.
He did. Wonder what the army graph shows.
Yeah, well, let's not look at that till we see the other thing, but remind me.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, well, there was nothing there. Pelagia fought insignificance.
Got a few Soulless mages, okay. Moved on to this fort. I guess he's going to take this. Okay, so I guess maybe Pelagia is thinking like, hey, this is probably in the bag. So this is interesting. It looks like they sniped. He killed a commander that left behind these units.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I've got to do a bio break. Give me a minute.
I'll keep going.
You can keep going. Yeah.
We had Pangea come in here. Pelagia pings here. Okay, so Pelagia's basically, they put this fort on, they've cracked this fort. I think this fort goes to them. I mean, it's a nice fort. It's got 2 gems. I don't think there's anything Pangea can do to stop them here, actually. And this throne, I guess they can come back and try to take later. Pangea does have this army, which, okay, they actually will be able to move this army to threaten this Pelagian force. Since they have this fort locked down, they could move this army up through this way and hit it. But this army's not capable of killing that Pelagian army, I don't think. I mean, it's pretty good, but... Ooh, and that Pan runs. That's risky. Okay, so, this throne's safe. This throne is safe. This throne is safe.
So what thrones does Pan still have under threat?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think they've saved all the thrones. Let's go look at Ashdod.
Maybe it's the Ashdod ones.
If I can find them. All right, here's Ashdod. Okay, so orienting ourselves with Ashdod. There are 3 thrones on the Ashdod front. This one, which is Pan's. Right. And then these 2, which are Ashdod's. So Ashdod was like worried that Pan was going to attack them here, but well, that is a big force here. But yeah, there's no major battles here.
No, he made no moves on those ones this turn.
What
the Pan Ashdod war was.
Hold up. We've got the god of Ashdod showing up, who I believe... Does he have an... There's an Irminsul here. Or no, a Tree Lord.
Okay, Tree Lord. Immobile.
Oh, he was... baiting that he had this is the 1,000 gem tree lord. As you notice, he does not have a global enchantment tag, so that was misinformation. I was wondering about that because this was the guy that potentially had Gift of Health up, but clearly it doesn't. Right. Damage reversal. Oh, so he's casting Wrathful Skies, but damage reversal's up. Does he have Phoenix Pyre? That's, I think, what I'm wondering. And what's his max HP? 20. That's not very high. Ooh. He's gotten some afflictions. Never healing wound limp. Oh, he just got the shit zapped flames. What did he get hit with?
Soul Slate? No.
Oh, I gotta go way down. Okay, it's gonna be too hard to find.
You get hit with the pitchfork.
He's getting the shit knocked out of him by something. He's cursed too, right? Oh my gosh. Isn't he? Oh, he's not cursed. He's just getting a lot of afflictions with bad luck. What the fuck is hitting him? Oh, Frozen Heart.
Well, there was a pitchfork.
What's his cold resistance? Oh, he doesn't have any. Yeah, this Dryad doing Frozen Heart is fucking him up.
Oh, that's what it is.
He has luck. Maybe luck is starting to negate some of these Frozen Heart rolls too. For 2 points of damage, okay. Yeah, that was a 23. That was Frozen Heart, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
He's about to die. He does not have Phoenix Pyre. That Flamestorm is fucking epic, though, like you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of amazing.
I think he's going to die the next time Frozen Heart gets cast, though. He's got lucky, though, so he could just pass. But there's enough Skelly spam and Howl that he just isn't ever able to, like, work through all the chaff. Maybe if he had cast, like, Firestorm or something. Or, like, Flamestorm.
Maybe.
He's got this pan on fire, at least.
We can't seem to kill that Dryad.
Yeah, she's on fire, though. So I guess there's a hope. Oh, but they're casting Healing Touch. By the way, I think that's upregulated a bit by my spellcasting AI mod. So they're not going to die because they're going to keep healing themselves. That is pretty cool. Not something you see all the time.
No.
Frozen Heart again. He's at 11 HP with 1,000,000 afflictions.
Oh, whoa.
And the Skelly spam is just, I don't even know what happened. It just went and hit epic proportions. Alright. I think the Frozen Heart's being negated a bit by luck here.
Maybe.
Oh, Moss Body. No. Luck negated otherwise fatal damage.
Okay.
Oh, there it went.
There it goes. Poof.
What got it in the end? Oh, but it's back as a white mage. Okay. I'm picking up what he's putting out. Oh, damage reversal got him at the end.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So he killed a Crystal Mage, a Lore Master, a bunch of chaff. But got a bunch of afflictions, but came back as a white mage.
So... yeah, 50-50.
Yeah. It's not horrible for anybody.
60-40.
It's kind of just a trade.
Mm-hmm.
But importantly, they know this isn't actually 1,000 gem tree lord. I don't see any thrones that are under threat. Let's take a look at, like you were saying, we've got here that, so he's got 5 that he's claimed. He's got the 6 with the throne of death. He needs to get 2 more.
Yeah, and he's got, so he was balanced off most of his moves.
Yeah.
So now what? Now what does he do?
Well, he can Stiggy and Path again, right? So that same thing that came down here and YOLO'd on Vanheim's throne, that army has reset, right? So he can take that army wherever he wants now.
And he can put serious pressure on the Ashdod thrones.
Right.
In a way, just looking at the map, Ashdod might be the weaker point to attack because there's less range support. I'm just kind of glancing that those thrones by Ashdod are pretty far away. Well, Vanheim's in range, but those are probably out of range of Pelagia intervention, whereas the Amish forts are in range of everybody's intervention.
Yeah, I think it's time we do what you said and pulled up this score graph, because there's so much that happened. It's like, okay, we have to, like, you know, I find myself doing that with turns in the late game too. Like, a complicated turn happens and I don't know what to make of it. It's like I look at my own score graph. Like, what the fuck just happened? So Pangea lost a bit of ground. Vanheim gained a bit of ground. Ashdod lost a tiny bit.
Pelagia gained.
Army size, Pangea lost a lot of army supply. Not something he can't gain back, but it was significant. Vanheim also lost a significant amount of army in that graph. It was a lot of devils.
Ulm did not. Ashdod really had no big fights.
I don't think there's another summary for this turn then, Maryland, other than this was a majorly good turn for the coalition. Like,
it was.
The disaster, you know, it's not like they're out of the woods by any stretch, but they kicked Pan off of every single throne. Pan's army graph is down, and Pan's province graph is down.
Yep. No, the coalition bounced back beautifully this turn. And Pan has to redirect. You know, he made some big plays, and they bounced.
Right. Now, you know, 2 more thrones or another player falling, and it's still going to be all over. Right? But it's... If the coalition gets like 4 more turns like this, Pan isn't going to be down, like, out of the game by any stretch. But if they get 4 more turns like this and they keep keeping him off of thrones and that more, you know,
then the game will go on another 40 turns.
Right. I think that if they could get 4 more turns like this in a row, they will have put Pan in a pretty precarious position. Like, right now, he's still very dominant.
But he can't afford those levels of army losses every turn.
If he gets down to
a 20% loss. Then the game flips. The game flips. Yeah,
you're right. The wheels will start shaking like they're going to come off the bus.
Right.
So that was so freaking cool. This is a really cool turn.
It was a good turn.
And this is like, okay, like Pan consciously, you know, articulately is like going for the win, putting pressure on thrones.
Right.
You know, doing it very wise, balancing all sorts of strategies, not trying to overcommit. But this just shows you, like, when you are ready in a game of good players to, like, put the game on your back and try to carry it for a win, like, it's hard. And this is, like, good players in the coalition who are, like, coming together and, like, okay, let's do what we can to stop this guy.
I have a measure for you of how big a turn this was. How long we've been at it? I'm thinking 90 minutes.
Yeah. Well, we paused it for some, but I think we're at 70 right now.
Yeah. So this is one of our biggest episodes ever. If that actually, that probably says we had to cover a lot of stuff here, and we've had to skim.
Yeah.
We did a couple of those battles in great detail, but a lot of the other stuff we've had to skim. This is a huge turn.
Yeah, let's make sure we didn't miss anything terribly important. We saw this one. That was the big battle.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, raids, counter raids.
So the god battle.
Yeah, the god battle was cool.
Yeah, I think we've seen pretty much all of this here.
I think the stuff that's relevant.
We didn't see this one. This one looks kind of cool. We've got some big, unique demon summons here. We've got an Archdevil with no gems, and we've got a Heliophagus with a full kit of super combatant-worthy gear. But they're squaring off.
That's also the Reaper. That's Macabiel, the Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
He's always a pain in the ass. You gotta find a place to stuff him where he doesn't do you too much damage.
Right.
He's an excellent everything, but Reaper.
Yeah. The problem here for Vanheim is that there's a lot of Charmers in this army, and there's a Soul Slayer here in the back too. And this is that same guy from before. But
that's a Spectre. Wait a minute. Was that an Astral 4 Death 4 Spectre?
Yeah.
So has that been empowered, or is he just geared up like crazy?
We saw him before. He was from that other fight. So he has two. It was an Astral 2 Death 1.
No, that's a good Spectre, though.
Yeah.
He lucked out there.
Yeah.
Like Astral 2 on a Spectre is
pretty rare.
Really high luck.
Yeah. So that was painful. Spectres the Heliophagus got away, and he was the one with all the gear on him. So I guess he really just lost an Archdevil here.
Yeah, but somebody else could scoop it if he doesn't hurry to get it back.
I mean, honestly, it's not even that bad of a trade, because he lost the Archdevil, but he killed like 40 demons. So, and some White Centaur.
Not
where was this? Was that in Sudden Merc? Where's the Sudden Merc? Okay, this may have actually been instrumental.
Oh, that was another piece of all this mess.
Right, yeah. So that actually may have saved the storming, because he did a magic phase and a normal phase attack. And even though he lost this, he killed enough demons. Those demons could have been the difference for in this storming that it didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool.
He won this through life for life spam, and if there's a bunch more meat in there, it might not have worked.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, it's good you wandered back to check that one out, because it was a tidbit of what we missed.
Yeah, let me make sure. Where was it? Sudden Merc or something? Where was it?
Sudden Merc. There you go.
Okay, we watched those. I'm just going to keep going through these.
Yeah, we
saw
watched
that.
Those.
Saw that. And that's kind of cool. Some Maenads dying. Yeah,
that's about it.
All right, guys. Well, I was hyped this whole episode. This was, it's hard to stay hyped on turn 117, but this is cool shit.
Yeah, it's been oh my God, these guys, Yeah. Well, I've got some games that are running into these turn 110 plus, and man, maintaining motivation is tough.
Yeah, it really is.
You've really gotta suck your scrotum up.
Yeah. All right. Well, on the topic of sucking your scrotum up, I would like to thank you for joining me, Marilyn.
Yeah.
And,
most welcome.
And viewers, those of you who are continuing to watch, I hope you've all learned something, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
I hope you did too. All right. Bye-bye, guys.